All right, guys, what's going on? Welcome back to another episode of The Potential Project. I'm your host, Sean Calhoun, and I hope you are starting your week off great. And I want to thank you guys for spending your time here with me today. I'm back in the studio right now, the fitness studio, and I wanted to keep today pretty short and sweet and to the point. And today, what we're going to talk about is balancing fitness and daily life. Now, you can really plug and play the word fitness for anything that applies to your lifestyle that's going to elevate you to become your highest potential. But since I deal with fitness and health all the time, that's what we're going to talk about today. It is very important that when we're setting fitness goals and that when we want to change our health and live optimally, that we have to understand what our life consists of and what we want to get out of it, right? There are some people who are cool with doing things cold turkey, quitting things, starting things, and they're very regimented and they can just do it on the drop of a coin. But for most of us, we want to enjoy our life. We want to be able to experience certain foods, certain people, certain things, and not necessarily have to be perfect every single day, every minute of the day, and never screw up for the rest of our lives. That's a very daunting thing to try to experience. So, we're going to talk about balancing fitness and daily life. And I want to start by saying I don't necessarily believe in balance, quote unquote. There are going to be some areas that get more attention, more time, more money than others. And that's okay because if we want to thrive in certain areas, you need to be shifting your focus and shifting your attention through your goals, through what you do throughout the day. So, for example, if you want to implement fitness and health into your life, that's going to take an unbalancing effort to do more of that than maybe some other things. But that's not to say it's taking away from being the best parent you can be or being the best, person at work that you can be. I believe that pouring into your health, your fitness, your finances, like making yourself a better human being, makes you better in all of those other areas. Hence, the potential project and the reason for talking about these things. So, first things first things first, right? It's understanding your priorities. Like if you're listening to this podcast, you probably are someone who wants to become better and continuously improve and have your health at a good place. So that means health is probably one of your priorities. So you need to assess, what do I do hour by hour, minute by minute throughout my day? How do I spend my time? Right? And really get clear on that, right? How are you spending your time and what can be adjusted, right? Maybe there's some things that you can totally get rid of. Maybe there's some things that you can delegate to other people, or adjust in your schedule. Maybe you found that something that you used to do in the morning is better suited at nighttime, whatever it might be. Understand your priorities. This way, you can figure out how you can make fitness a bigger picture in your life. Like if you want to make huge strides and feel your best, fitness is going to have to be something that's a priority. And I'm talking to really everybody, right? I don't care if you're an accountant. I don't care if you're a real estate agent. I don't care what you do, right? If you're a nurse, having a strong hold on your fitness and your health is going to improve those areas. So you don't have to be a fitness professional to want to prioritize fitness. So we need to figure out how to make that a bigger priority in your life. Then you need to set clear goals. Hey, what do I want to weigh? How do I want to look? How do I want to move, right? Setting those clear goals is going to give you an understanding of how much time, money, and attention you're going to have to allocate to achieving that goal. If it's something really low and it's not going to take much time or whatever, you might be able to figure that out pretty easily. But if you have a big goal of living to 100 or having certain levels when you go get your blood tested at the doctor or weighing a certain way or looking a certain physique, that's going to be important to know exactly what you need to allocate your time to. And then the last part of this is being able to accept that there's no one's perfect, right? Like I said in the beginning, right? Like if you have a goal, it's I'm never going to eat dessert ever again in my entire life, and you really love ice cream, and then one night, 2 months down the road, you have ice cream. Now you're beating yourself up. You're like, oh, you're a piece of crap. You ruined your streak. You're not good enough. And then that leads to worse things happening. It leads to your mindset going down in the gutter. And then you kind of like fall off and maybe you don't continue with it at all, rather than saying, you know what, I eat ice cream 3 days a week, and I have a goal of losing 5 pounds. So I feel like it would be reasonable to cut down to once a week, save it for a treat on Saturdays, and that's going to get me in the right direction towards my goal. So when you're approaching your priorities, understanding that perfection is not going to lead you down the right path. Then there's time management strategies, right? What do we need to do during our day? We've allocated it. We've figured out that we can cut out a few things, adjust our schedule. Now we need to schedule our workouts. Are you a morning person or an evening person? You should probably be honest with yourself and say, look, although I know it would be nice to work out in the morning, I'm not there yet. I need to set in my schedule a time in the evening to go to the gym or to do a workout or a walk that I can commit to and build momentum from there. Yeah. Do I think it's better for my lifestyle to work out in the morning? Yes, because it gets my day started. The energy's there. It's out of my way. Now I'm not thinking about it all day. Like, oh man, I really got to get to the gym, right? You're not thinking those things. But you might start as a person who works out in the afternoon and do that for so much time that you've really adjusted your schedule and then can go work out in the morning. Then there's time blocking, right? You need to realize that you have time with your family, you have time for work, you have personal time, and you have fitness, right? You have your exercise time. So if you're like, hey, I want to work out 3 times per week, I need about 45 minutes to an hour to work out, and you've looked at your schedule and you made scheduling for that, then block it out and don't schedule anything else in that time. That means you're not on your phone, you're not emailing, you're not going through social media, you're not saying, oh, well, yeah, actually I could do this meeting at 2 o'clock, when you know that's your scheduled time block for fitness. And I think this concept goes for all areas, right? Like imagine if you wanted to have a sit down dinner with your family every night at 6 p.m. And that's so important to you because that's your quality time with them. And all of a sudden you're like, oh, I took a meeting with so and so, or I have a call, or I have to go do this thing. And your family's like, what the heck? Like, this is our time to connect and to share our stories from the day. And like, we don't get to see you all day. And now you're cutting into this time. It's the same thing as your workout, right? Like, you are committing to yourself and really to your family, because when you show up as your best self, you're your best self for them too, your kids, your spouse, your loved ones. If you have that hour or whatever blocked out for your workout and you're saying, oh, you know what? I'm going to be on my phone the whole time. Or, oh, actually, I had this scheduled, but someone called me and they wanted to go out or whatever it is, and that's interrupting with your workout time. Well, then now you are being disrespectful for yourself, for your time, and for the people you care about who you're even going to the gym for, right? And then there's another concept that is being able to combine fitness with your daily activities, right? Like I like to spend some time with Gianna, right? Because she works, I work. So sometimes we'll schedule in a walk where our phones are away and I'm able to just talk to her and unpack the day. And like, that's a physical thing that you can do, right? It's exercise, but that's us bonding as well. Then you have to manage your energy levels, right, guys? These are ways that we're incorporating fitness into our daily lives, remember, right? So you have to manage your energy levels. I love being disciplined and doing things that are consistent, but you have to listen to your body. If you're not sleeping and you got little kids keeping you up, yeah, maybe you go do your workout if you have that scheduled and it's blocked out, but maybe you go a little bit lighter, or maybe you're not going crazy intense during your workout. You need to listen to your body and listen to your energy levels, because if you're depleting your energy and you're not giving back to your body, well, then you're going to be useless at work, with your family, and doing all those other things. So really the most important thing is viewing fitness as a way to boost your energy, to feel more mobile, to feel limber, to feel just good, right? It's a blessing to work out. It's not a punishment, right? Um, then there's nutrition that comes into play. If you're not managing your nutrition when it comes to your energy levels, that can screw you up too, right? Like, let's say you're waking up in the morning and on an empty stomach, you're going and doing a very hard workout and you feel like toast afterwards, right? You need a nap, your energy's shot. Well, then maybe that's an adjustment that needs to be made where you have a little bit of protein or a little bit of something before your workout. You need to fuel your body properly. Again, the role in nutrition and fitness is to make your body feel better, to feel optimal, and have high energy, not to deplete it, beat it up, and punish it. And then there's sleep, which kind of goes hand in hand with those things I was just talking about. Like sleep is the utmost important thing. And we've talked about this a lot. But if you are not sleeping enough hours, or if your hours that you're in bed are not of quality sleep, which means you're not getting restorative sleep and you're waking up tired, well, then you need to plan according to that and try to adjust that, right? Getting to bed earlier or making sure your room's the right temperature or making sure it's dark or uninterrupted, ways to improve your sleep quality so that your fitness and your daily tasks aren't being hindered and aren't being lackluster, right? Next is mindset, right? It gets lonely sometimes. I know you see 6-week challenges and 21-day fix and all these things in the fitness world that promise you are going to get results in a short amount of time. And while you can make some progress in that amount of time and set a habit or get into a routine, sometimes, most times, these long lasting results are number one, not going to happen that quick. They take years. And number two, they should be cultivated to be your lifestyle for the rest of your life. I've been training myself for like 11 years, right? It's never going to end. I'm almost 30, right? I plan on doing this until I'm 100 years old. So I'm going to have to get over the fact that my goal isn't going to happen in 8 weeks. I just have to continuously build this into my life. So you need to create a positive mindset on the journey so that when things get rough, you still are able to stick to your plan and just know that, hey, you just have to do what you have to do today. Then there's accountability partners, right? Who can you enlist in, whether it's a family member, a loved one, a friend, a coworker, me, right? Someone in your community or online that you can work out with or you can communicate with about fitness, about health. So now you don't feel like you're on an island. You can share your struggle, you can share your win, and you can have someone who holds you accountable in the sense that they're real with you. I believe true accountability partners, true coaches, and true friends are honest and upfront, right? We're not going to sugarcoat it. We're just going to tell you how it is, what you did that was good, but maybe there's somewhere where you're slacking, where you committed to working out twice a week and you've been making excuses as to why you're only doing it once. Like, that's not cool of a friend to let you go on that, right? We need to hold you to a higher standard where you said your word was 2 times a week. Now, we talked about your schedule. You mapped it out. You have the time. You have the resources. You have the energy. Even though every day isn't perfect, you committed to that. So let's hold our standard, right? So find an accountability partner that's going to be real with you. And then you have to celebrate the small wins, whether it be you got less sugar in your coffee, or you meal prepped for the week, or you made it to all 3 of your workouts, whatever it is, something small, celebrate that. Whether you text your accountability partner, you post about it on social media, you get yourself a small treat, whatever it is. I don't know. You have to celebrate those small wins so that we can build momentum along the way and not be so fixated on that end goal that might take a year or two to get to. And on top of that, there's always a new goal. So let's say you have a goal of losing 50 pounds and you don't celebrate along the way and you actually do get there. Well, then you have another goal that you want to do. You're not enough body fat percentage, or your physique isn't big enough. There's always going to be another goal. So celebrate the small wins. Then it's balancing your social life with fitness, right? There's a lot of things that are going to come up: parties, birthdays, holidays, situations where it might put you out of your routine and what you're used to, right? Monday through Friday, you have this routine, you prepped your food, you're on the same schedule, but then it's your son's friend's birthday party and there's cake and there's pretzels and all that other stuff. You got to be able to be mindful when you're going to those events. And what I would say is if you're scheduling your life out, which most people know what they're going to be doing within the next day or a week, think about it, right? Not that you have to meditate on it, but you have to say, hey, I'm going to be at little Johnny's birthday party. They're probably going to have X, Y, and Z there. So I'm going to have a protein shake before I go so I'm not as hungry, right? That's something that you can do to be mindful. Then there's setting boundaries, right? Everybody gets all upset at the person who doesn't want the slice of cake at the birthday party, but maybe they're just trying to be healthy, right? We need to politely say no to those activities or things that don't align with your goals. Because guess what? Those people being upset with you or joking, well, why didn't you have the cake? It's not affecting them, right? Your goal isn't about them. Your goal is about your life and optimizing your life. So if they want to have cake, if they want to do those things or do those activities, that's totally fine. But if they don't align with you, then why would you be upset about that, right? Like if I have to get up early, I'm not going to be the guy going to the club at nighttime. And if my friends are asking me to go and I say no, they're like, "Oh, come on, you're not fun." I don't I don't mind because that's not in alignment with my goals. So you have to get okay with that. And then you got to get people who you care about involved. Now, this is the opposite, right? This is where like you're saying no to certain scenarios to people you love, but also on the contrary, getting people involved and saying, hey, to your husband, your wife, your loved ones, I really want to commit to being healthier this year or going forward. I want to eat more whole foods or be, healthier or make it a family thing that we optimize our health and we work out. Like we're a fit family, whatever it is, and getting them to buy in on it, right? Like if you set the standard and you have kids or a family or close friends, whatever it is, it could be the community at your work. And you're setting the tone to being healthier, to being fit, then they buy into that. All you need is one person. And then you start doing it together and you're owning your word and you're continuing with that, being consistent. It's going to catch on and trickle into the community. So I hope you guys learned something today and took these tips and can realize we don't have to be perfect. We can live our life and we can still have some fun, but we have to schedule, we have to set some boundaries, and we have to stay in alignment with what our goals and standards are if we want to have that higher, feeling of fitness and health for years and years to come. So please, if you guys got any value of this, please share it with a friend, a family member, text it to them, put it on social media. And until next week, guys, go be great. And I hope to have some good guests on for you guys coming soon.